the correction dollar index daily chart, quite clearly at a level of supply, does not want to go higher. Broken that trend line. Sorry, a bit husky, I've been screaming at people. High, low, broke the trend line, low, high, highs compared to that one and that one. So nice bottom three there. And currently at a level of supply, making a lower high compared to that one. So I know you guys said that's more of a sorry, let's go bigger time frame and get a clearer picture. From there to there, quite clearly a downtrend. From there to there, there's that one there. So it's in a bit of a void in my opinion. Go from there to there. Just fill in the gap. Sellers, still high, low, high, high. That's high compared to that on the weekly, and we're currently in this area here. So low, high, low. Doesn't want to make a high, swing high. So someone's making a decision or doing something, but at the end of the day, there's a nice set of level of supply, and to get a clearer picture of supply level, we go to the daily. So supply level, but that's the high there, there's a low there, a correction high there. Probability might bounce back down to around the 79.34 or 79.48 because they have a lower high, have a doji, fight between the buyers and sellers. Buyers one blue candle, high, 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 low. Currently sellers are in control. And the bottom half of the candle at level supply, so some form of continuation to the downside in my view. But in order to do that, it needs to break a few things here. And that one there. So nice equilateral triangle. Needs to make a decision on the 4th of Feb. But level supply. So US dollar probably continue to go to the downside, and euros continue to the upside, but no clear. We'll have a look at the announcements in a second. So 50%, there's a high, there's a low, and a 50% mark. So not good trading, more of a day trading type environment in my opinion. Looking at the futures index, Asia, Nikkei, Bank of Japan, have got that big thing going on. S&P, it went up. Hang Seng usually follows the Nikkei. But last night in Europe, we're all in the green. Stocks went down, but the DAX and the FTSE went up, which is a strong players. And in the US, Dow Jones went up, S&P, so quite strong, 0.5%. So yeah, pretty good. We'll look at the Dow Jones shortly. This is in New York time. I've got tomorrow off. Thank you. Tonight, major announcements is the PMI in the euro and the US dollar unemployment claims in another 5 hours. But a lot announced in the pound in the euro sector, so we might have a bit of volatility in the euro sector, but the big ones are those two. So if you're playing the euro or the US dollar in pairs based, that's going to be pretty volatile tonight, the euro dollar. So that's that. Any questions?
Have a look at the futures, please. Dow and
yeah. I'll cheat actually. Dow Jones. Sorry, I'm a bit husky. I'm losing my voice. Okay.
Look at the Bloomberg futures. So let's see if it's
futures market. Where we going? Futures drive the currencies, obviously. So Dow Jones is there, and S&P, Nasdaq dropped a little bit, 1.5%. So a big move on the Nasdaq. That might be the setup hand for the Nasdaq to go short. The euro. So highly likely tonight the futures market. Futures markets dropped, highly likely the indices are going to follow. But everything's at a level of supply on the majors, so highly likely it might drop. The DAX has got a bit of strength. So yeah, that's 0.3%, 1.5% on the Nasdaq. So the tech stocks are plummeting a little bit. Probably Apple, something like that.
Yeah, Apple had a bad report.
The Dow Jones index.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Go a little bit, still the way I do it. Looking at that, it's quite clearly an uptrend. As we keep pointing out, Ronaldo, we're almost in. Let's see where we're going. Get a clearer picture. Next one to break is that little baby there. Or maybe that one. So we're entering a. Oops, sorry. So definitely in a supply area. Current candle is quite bullish. Uptrend. Retraced. Doji equalised. High low. High high. Pushed back up to the upside. No problem there. So entering a strong level of supply, or the highest it's ever been, pretty much. It's 2007, which is good. Considering the strength of that, probability is going to break up to this level here, if not higher. But needs to retrace. I mean, if you're into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C correction, didn't like it, continued upside. Bit early wave going on there. But needs to breaks this. That's strong. So looking at the weekly, I mean, today's what, the 24th, almost in the month. Definitely an uptrend. Low, high, still continuing. Some correction there. High compared to that. Last candles are blue, so it's an upswing. High, lows high compared to that, lows high compared to that, lows high compared to that. So no sign of weakness yet on the weekly chart to short. And daily, we are a level supply, pretty much everything's level supply. But nice doji there. And what's the high of that one? Oops, 0. Sorry. High of that one is 13,789, 785. So it hasn't made a high this candle. It's not over yet. It hasn't gone above. If that drops down around this level here, around the bottom, or maybe a not really, maybe an M2 forming supply level, but just waiting for this to finish, preferably a red candle to short. And where it goes, well, we'll go from the low to the high, back down to around 13,660 with Dow Jones. But no sign of weakness yet on the Dow Jones. Any questions?
No questions.
No questions. Okay, let's start from you, Phil. Go through your download Swiss from yesterday. So how did it do?
It's just hovering, eh? Well, there's no announcements. News drives price, so it's up. You know, that's quite clear. Let's go through the whole lot more thought process. Let's go right. Let's get it 2 years. We've broken the down trend line on the weekly, closes above the trend line, and as we discussed last week, buyers pushed it up. This may be the low of this week and then continue to the upside. And the next level that has to break is that one there. This is the next strong level of supply. But it also needs to break this level here. So it's retraced. Downtrend line broken. Buyers pushed it up, very bullish bar. So some form of retracement, making the low of this weekly candle. The low is higher compared to that, but the high high, it's not finished yet, the high is definitely low compared to that. So some form of equalization at the moment. Still got room to go up in my opinion. Looking at the daily. There's the low, there's the high, there's the low, there's the high, had a form of a doji. Oops. And the high, well, at the time was high compared to that. Considering it's an uptrend, probability it should have come down, but it didn't want to. And it's at the 38.2 fib with a doji. So high low on the daily at the time. Into the 4-hour chart using a smaller time frame for the entry on the correction. And around here was that's actually now this is Eastern Daylight Summer Time, which I'm an hour behind. So around this level, is it this one? Yeah, that's where I entered in on this candle here, because it was actually bullish, but dropped down. For me, that would be my entry around this level here, which is tied in really well, and it's slowly going up. So I'm 10 pips up. So in the money, overall, trend on daily is an uptrend. Trend on the weekly is an uptrend. Well, sorry, swing on the weekly is an uptrend. So might have that may where to. The intention of the trade was to swing, since it's using the 4-hourly to enter on the smaller time frame of the retracement of the trend on the daily. I mean, that's quite clearly an uptrend, so just you can either short it here, play the retracement, or wait until it equalises. Go a smaller time frame, 4-hourly level demand with a higher low, preferably a blue candle to go long. Areas it needs to break is where they're pretty much the targets are. Target needs to break this area here, in my opinion, which is a strong level of supply, and also that level of supply there. If it breaks that, go to the bigger time frame and put that one in. So I'm in the money, haven't changed anything. If it goes like an M2 setup tomorrow, I'll be moving my stop to below my spread on this on the swing low here. Currently it's down here. So 10, 11 pips. Profit to profit. Attention to swing trades, I'm going to leave it alone and just watch it and see what happens.
Okie dokie, beautiful. Thanks, Phil. Then let's start with Anne next. Let's see and have a look on what you've done.
Okay, I did, can you see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I did the CAD, it was 2 a.m. for the report, so I didn't actually watch the report or watch the market, but analysis-wise, my view of the dollar CAD was a downtrend, so my intention was to to short this pair back to this level of demand right here. So there wasn't a clear break of the downtrend line right here. Now so what I did is I tested it, put a small 1% position in to go short in case I missed the move to the downside. But it didn't happen, didn't go the way my directions. So actually broke because of the bad report that happened at 2 a.m. So that's what happened. Went to the upside, broke this high now, so it's now back to change of trend to the upside. Higher lows here happening here, higher highs happening here at the moment. That's a higher low there now. The highs here are higher, and also this green candle here as well, so which means that this area right here is a stabilization, just waiting for that report before they push it to the upside. So the next price to beat will be this level of supply right here. So it's actually broken parity I think the high of this, it's over parity, and the high of this is also over parity. So it's just about the same, really. So it may break this level of supply here, and then the next one will be the highest one on the daily, which is one right here, but the 10056. So there's levels of supply over there that it may go and break. If not, may stabilize within this strong supply area here, since in the past it's also quite strong. Very strong supply level there, so it might just stabilize here and then drop again for the downside. But at the moment there's a change of trend to the upside, but it needs to break this level here to continue to the upside. Any questions?
Right, so what can we learn from that exercise?
For me, always, my rule is to trade always after the report. So, but I just took the risk because my view is on a downtrend. It's a downtrend, and I just took the risk in case I missed the move to the downside.
How about you, Phil?
Well, in the market, we have different traders, scalpers, momentum, swing, day traders. If you follow your procedure, you follow it, and you've got stops in and position size of what you're happy to lose, or not lose, what you're happy to put in the market. So, as Anne said, she got 1% of the position until it actually forms, and she was happy with that.
Yeah, well, there's always going to be room for improvement, right? So, because I was looking at it yesterday and I didn't want to say anything. Then this is the beauty about these exercises, because you guys will learn if to see the end result, well, unless you basically do it. What do you think? What was missing in the analysis?
In my opinion.
Or any of you guys, both. Let's start from you, and since this is your trade.
Well, I was looking at it based on M1, and because I'm a trend, I trade with the trend, and yesterday I looked at it from the monthly to the weekly to the daily, and it's on the downtrend. I don't think I missed anything.
Okay, look at it very closely then. Something is missing. Something, basically you missed something. Even though you look at broader market analysis, you missed something.
Well, I don't know what I missed, so maybe you can tell me.
Well, I'm helping you out over here, so, do it a little bit more harder, better.
Fib retracement?
No?
Maybe the big bullish candle before.
So part of the bullish candle before, however, it's still pretty much in a downtrend. Okay, so this is where now it is a downtrend, but it is also in an uptrend. So there's a convergence between the two, but there's something that's missing within the analysis. So, if you wait after a report, that's fine. It's part of your rule, and if it's your rule, it's your rule, right? However, there's something that's missed, even though part of your broader market analysis. Have a look at your BMA.
What's a BMA?
Broad market analysis.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm looking at, because I thought I analyzed it. I went to the monthly, looked at it at the broader picture, being on a downtrend.
All right, let's have a look on the monthly. So, okay, great. It's a downtrend. Okay, so you draw your primary, secondary, tertiary downtrends, and so forth, and uptrends. Okay, obviously yesterday that didn't happen as yet in terms of the price, where the price is as at. Okay, so we have your primary, and then draw your secondary uptrend as well, please. Okay, alright, so that's pretty much on a monthly. Since the month is not over yet, then you looked at yesterday on the weekly. So what did the weekly do? And this is the important part.
The weekly, last week, not this week, but this week here, the buyers are in control. But my view is because this candle here still closed below this downtrend line right here, and still lower compared, the highs is still lower compared to these highs here. I still see this as a downtrend, because if this didn't happen, this could have just dropped down here to this level of demand, and then continued down if this is broken. But yesterday it was very strong with that report, and then just push it right back up to parity.
Okay, so
that was my analysis yesterday.
Yeah, I totally get that. Now go through and put a square pretty much on the last two blue bars. Okay, then let's go through on the daily chart and see and to analyze it based on micro and bingo. So that's where it was, right? So now on the weekly, if you put that pretty much your primary, secondary, even on the shorter term perspective, if you really do it on a daily and you change, see now from there, if I change through that, see I will go through and cut across through there. Now if you clean up your trend, see how, look at the lows. The lows didn't really want to go below the broken line either.
Right, that's the highest there. So even if I move this,
okay, that's the high. But if you connect, so that I believe that would be your primary. But if you connect from the 6th June the 1st, 2012, and then the last low. I'm sorry, last high, bingo. And yeah, there is that empty space through that sense. However, they didn't want to go below that low. Because if the price was really that weak, that the doji, the green doji and the red doji, especially the red doji, should be below that line by now. It should be below 99 cents all the way to that level of demand and heading back down to probably 89.45 with that good pull to the upside, correction, and then basically continuation. And then the strongest will be pretty much further up there on the bigger downtrend line. Alright, so in trading, don't be upset or because of this or that. There's always room for improvement in order to see what did I miss, what did I see. Because at the end of the day, the market doesn't care what you think, right? We don't care what we think. So what the question is, how can we improve our trades in order for us to go to the next level? That just in case that the same thing happens, then at least if you take notes on your trades, you will be able to see is that, oh, okay, I remember that same pattern happened with the dollar CAD, and now it's happening now with the pound against the US dollar. So how can now I do that? Okay, great. I won't make the same mistake. I will take the risk rather than going to the short side, I go to the long side. Maybe perhaps because the clear broken in the trend and I'll rather take that on board and go to the upside. Yeah, other than that, yeah, I totally agree with you. You know, it's a downtrend and lower lows, lower highs, and you know, the risk is still pretty small to the upside. But on the other point of view, and this is the beauty about trading, is that you see one thing, other people will see one thing, and it's a zero-sum game at the end of the day. And this is all the reason why we also do this as a form of the trading environment. All right. Any other questions or feedback for Anne? None. Alrighty. Let's go through. Would you mind analyzing the pound against the US dollar, please, on your own accord, and then you go next, please. Phil, and see what here both of you will be able to see.
Okay, so it's nearly the end of the week, so I'll just have a look at the weekly chart for now to see where it's at. Okay, so what I can see with the pound against the dollar overall, I just want to see the overall picture on the monthly because it's near also the end of the month. It's on the sideways movement really so it's on the downtrend from here to here, uptrend from here to here, but really on a sideways from certain points. So if I put my supply and demand levels, so that will be the recent supply area, and this month's not over yet, so I'll just take it's already broken that low right there, and so the next low will be these levels here and this level here as well. So there's certain levels that it needs to break before it goes back to this level of demand. At the moment it's within the equilibrium point, so it's halfway between this supply and this demand level right here, but it's also only going sideways at this point. The monthly, we can already clearly see that sellers are pretty much in control, bringing it back down to this level of demand here. Okay, on the weekly chart. On the weekly chart, clear picture. Last week, sellers are pretty much in control. Started off with this candle right here, some form of stabilization here, and then sellers took it back down to this level of demand here. So it's also a very good level of demand, as I said, within the 50% of the equilibrium point on the monthly. It's running out of steam with regards to the sellers, and it may stabilize within this area, and then may proceed to the upside, or it may proceed further to the downside since sellers are pretty much in control. So that's what I can see on the weekly. On the daily chart, on the daily chart at the moment, after a strong push by how many days? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, or about 6 days. It's now stabilizing within these areas right here, so it's also running out of steam. So it's just stabilizing between 2 points really. You can also draw. So let's go. Yesterday's high is higher, but also create a lower low as well. But it closed within these regions. Okay, so at the moment it's just a fighting between the 2 points. I don't know whether to go to the upside for the correction or continue to the downside. So it's better, but it's back at the level of demand. We really need to see some clear breakout of the supply level right here before we can trade this to the upside, or a clear breakout of this demand level here to continue to the downside. So it's a 50-50 decision at the moment. I'll stay away. I won't even trade this for now until I see clear direction how to trade this, since it's more likely to the short side, since the low here is now higher compared to this low. This low is lower now, so it's now change of direction to the downside. However, it's also got the convergence where there's a high here, this high here is higher compared to that high there. So that's my view on the pound dollar. Any questions?
All right, sweet. Your turn, Phil. What do you see? Thank you. I think you're muted, Phil.
Can't hear you, Phil.
Sorry. On the monthly level supply, sellers in control. So it's in a range. I mean, it's going to take a lot of energy to get up. Quite clearly in a range. That supply, sellers in control. Let's come back down to this level here, some form of equalization. So looking at that, long term would be short. Okay, what I see on the monthly chart is a head and shoulders pattern. There's the neckline. Broken the trend line. So there's the trend here. Low, high, low, high. Should have made a higher swing low. Didn't want to. So now it's lower compared to that. So now it's a change of trend in my opinion. And since it's in my view, it's a double top, sorry. So 470 pips. My targets would be around this level here. I mean, and considering big push to the downside, equalization, huge push to the downside now of 300 pips, it's got to equalize. So we're definitely in a supply correction demand area. No ifs and doubts about that, but it's broken the last previous low. So that's no longer applicable. So I would be waiting for retracement on the daily to go short, considering all the other majors, etc., are pound's not a line, so it's not a line with the DXY. So we'll go red. Where to? Take the low up to the last high. I personally believe that, and if you're looking at trend, it's quite clearly a downtrend. And that low is lower compared to that. So it's broken the level of demand. Additionally to that, just to throw a curveball in there, it's got to break this one next as well. So in a demand level, bigger time frame is bearish. It's broken the trend line on the bigger time frame, and on the daily we have a downtrend. And then looking at this here, have a nice big V, double top, broken it back down to the strong level of demand. So the way I'll be trading this would be, it may not go up, highly likely, well, don't know because the market, but every time I've seen something like this before, it's just equalizing, fill the gap, and then you have a descending triangle as well. So if it breaks this, it goes up, it's going to have a lot of strength, but probability, maybe a pennant or a descending triangle. And to go to the downside, breaks this level here, we're back down to this level here. So just waiting to go short, yeah, in my view.
Alright, nice. Okay, here's a question. If you currently have a trade at the moment, and it's currently in a level of demand where it's now at 58.30, what will you do? Will you hop out right now, or are you going to hold and take the risk and let it ride to 59.45 or even 59 just to catch the 70 at something pip move? Let's start from you, Phil.
Well, here we go. All depends on the intention of the trade. That's quite clearly a downtrend. So if I'm entering at a level of demand on a downtrend, I'm swimming against the tide.
Yeah.
I can do that, providing I'm willing to risk, which is a pretty low risk. Well, as you've got 3 dojis in a row, and if that was your trace, it should be up here already, but it doesn't want to. I mean, you could put a short position. You're still at demand level. You could wait for it to come up. Considering the strength of that, 6 candles, the big bearish candle on the weekly, probability that's going to continue to drop once it breaks this demand level here.
Well, the weekly is showing a doji, right? Last week was a big bearish bar. This week is a doji. So, hence the uncertainty. Now, next week, it could either continue to drop or it could correct itself. So, if it's in a level of demand...
If I was going to trade this long, Ronaldo, I'll be waiting for... If I was intention to trade this long, I'll be waiting for a higher low on the daily, and then I'll be waiting for a low high compared to the previous candle's low on the weekly.
Now this is where I'm changing the scenario. You're in a level of demand, and are you going to ride it just to go to that 59 to fill in the gap, which might take 1 or 2 days to get up there? It can take 1 day or 2. Or are you going to hop out right now because it's not moving? That is the scenario. Based on your analysis at the moment, what will you do?
I'll play safe. Close the contract for a minimum amount of profit.
Okay, so close a trade for a minimum profit or even a small loss. Or basically, that's the only, so that's what you're going to do.
That's what I would do. Well, I could trade it long, play the retracement, but it doesn't want to move. So, what's the worst case scenario? I'll lose 30 pips. Am I willing to lose that much? That's the answer.
So, if you're going to hold it to go to 59, are you willing to risk 30 pips, 40 pips?
It's a greater than 2 to 1 ratio, and you currently have a higher low compared to the leaders one at the moment. But it's not moving. You play safe and take a minimum amount of profit.
Okay. All right. Nice. Anne, what will you do?
Well, I'm more of a risk taker, so I would play it. I'll wait for it to see if it goes to the retracement, about the 59.45 or even the 50%, just to touch the downtrend line, and then if it stabilizes there or doesn't want to go further, then short it. But yeah, I'll stay in my opinion.
All right. Okay. Cool. So we'll see the end result. So Phil says is to take the loss, basically do nothing, and Anne says to leave it. Or Anne says to take the risk and go even to 59 or 59.45. Perfect. One more. Let's see if you depending on the way how you analyze stuff. Okay, let's Do Kiwi against the US dollar, please. Guess that from you, Phil.
We usually only do the weekly and monthly, but we are at the end of the month, so we're looking through the monthly. Alright. High, uptrend. Now an uptrend is a highs and high lows. So high, low, high, low, high, low. That should be up here. It doesn't want to, but that's high compared to that. And that's not high compared to that. But we are at a level of overall uptrend, level of supply, buyers in control. But not high. It's not high compared to the candle, which is not finished yet. It's not high compared to that high. For that to continue to the upside, it needs to break this high, this candle, and that candle to go up to this area here. So uptrend, buyers in control, level of supply. Right. Oops, that's good. High, 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 high. That, so definitely uptrend. A level of supply. Doesn't want to go above this level here at the moment. Buyers in control. So uptrend, supply level, buyers in control. That high is high compared to that, but not high compared to that. Cool. Looking at the daily. High, low, high. Didn't make a higher swing high, which is a continuation of a trend. And then it made a low. I'll slot that in there actually. Now you have an ascending triangle. A level of supply. There's a high, that's lower compared to that. Low. Lower compared to that, not finished yet. All three time tames are level of supply, but buyers in control. May go up to this level here. To get a cheaper price. Quite clearly, it made a high, doji, higher, high, high, low. Probability to continue up another candle before we short or fill that gap. If it breaks this trend line, then it will come back down to around this level here. If I was trading this, because of the bigger time frames, the buyers in control. Everything's at supply level, no doubt there. I currently have a supply level with a red doji, pretty good area to short, but bigger time frame, buyers in control. I'd want for this to have a bit less power before I short it. At the end of the day, it's an uptrend, but it doesn't want to go higher than there. So me personally, I'd reckon it's I'd wait for this to drop, lose some more momentum, fill that gap to short, in my opinion. It's not ready yet, it's too strong.
Alrighty, cool. And your turn.
Okay, so on the monthly chart, it's at it's on an uptrend. So let's draw my trend lines. Oops, wrong one. Okay, so that'll be our primary, and this will be our secondary. It's not over yet, but be the secondary. Our downtrend lines would be, that's the high, and connected to last month's high at the moment. So short-term downtrend with leveled supply, buyers in control on the monthly, covering the this tail right here of last month's tail for the push by the sellers to the downside. So it's covering that, although the highs though is lower at the moment. Now this candle's not finished yet, but if it closes like this, then it's lower. However, it's the lows are higher though. So it's nicely filling up this void in this triangle here as well. On the weekly chart, clearer picture. So last week was a stabilization, created those tails as well. This candle here is now filling up those tails there. You can also see that the highs are lower, but also the lows are higher, so there's some convergence there. Some indecision here that we can see, probably just filling up this void in the triangle, and then need to see a clear breakout of this downtrend or uptrend line for a clear direction, but at the moment it's just bulls pretty much in control with a level supply. On the daily chart, I'm just cleaning this up. Okay, so still there's no clear breakout of this downtrend line right here, even if it's sellers are in control here at the moment. Level supply, higher lows still. Yesterday created a higher high, higher low as well in this range of candles here. Still buyers in control. Some form of stabilization correction back to this demand level here. May even correct itself back to this demand here as well. So at the moment it's just doing some small corrections based on the daily, and it looks like it's just filling up this void here in this triangle. So it's more of a day trade situation between this demand level and that supply level. For longer term, it needs a clear breakout really of this downtrend line and uptrend line if it goes further, but for shorter term, it's good. It's now looking good for a short trade back to this demand level here. So if we even look at the 4-hour chart, okay, so 4-hour chart, really just look at this supply level here. I'll just draw the supply level. It's really trading with this supply level and this demand level here, strong demand level right here, even here as well. So that's sort of the equilibrium between these 2 points. You can put it a bit higher as well. So around about there. So it's really trading within this area here. If it breaks this, then back to this demand. But for me, it's just there's some form of indecision, in my opinion. So it's a good day trade to go up and down.
All right, perfect. Okay, we got 2 minutes. Now, in actual fact, So would you short this in, or would you wait? What would you do? What would be your plan?
Okay. At the moment, it's now at the level of demand in the 4 hours, so I tend to look at the 1 hour chart for my best price, and it would be also at the level of demand as well. So a bit too late here is the good time, or even this candle. So the last hour would have been the perfect time to go short. Nice retracement and then down. Even this candle at the start of this candle. So I'll just wait when it goes back to this, even here at this supply level here, then we can short it again, or even long it here and then reverse your position, because this is only a good day trade, really.
Okay, cool. All right, perfect. Okay, let's go through. We've got if everybody would look into their euro dollar. So you have a choice. Either you do it on a live account or demo and see what you can come out from it.
Euro dollar or pound dollar? Pound
Euro
dollar?
dollar. Euro dollar.
Oh, euro dollar. Yep. Are we trading that report? Are we?
Yeah, so it's 12 o'clock. Bingo. So there it is. Okay, so we'll see. We'll just look into it in the next few minutes. And you can pretty much do whatever you want to do, either your live account or demo account, and see what you can come with it. But make sure to achieve to create a trade, though. Okay, don't sit on the sidelines. So the point of the exercise to be with you guys to be in the game and see what you guys are gonna do with it. Okay, I'm gonna be beating myself, and let's trade. Alright, so just to recap on my end, so basically hopped out 34.6, currently being the level of demand at the moment. And odds and probability that there's more room in order for this trade to go further to the downside is highly probable based on the 15 minutes. Another 4 minutes to go. You can go to 30 to 77 still. And on a bigger time frame, 30 minutes. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of room to go through further. There is nothing dictating it's another 15 minutes to be in fact. And if you really go on the 1 hourly chart, definitely really strong to the downside. So nice big push to the downside based on that report. And it can happen from here on forwards, but the odds and probability that they will push the price further is highly probable since he's creating a new low and lower highs despite being on a sideways movement on the upside, maximum probably 30 to 64, and hence there's also this long shadow right there. Okay, daily chart, the dailies, they're trying to fill in the gap here once again. The lower shadows, so pretty much higher highs, still higher lows. Okay, now purpose of this exercise is mainly just to show there's actually a really good one today based on reporting that we can catch some trades and you can actually really see it. Sorry, 124. Basically even prior with the move that manipulation in the marketplace, not manipulation, but you can see the institution is actually just trying to getting ready to short prior to the news. Okay, Euro USD. right, that's it for my end. Okay. What did you do in your end, Phil?
I went short on it. The dailies are red candle below the 8 and the 10s, and the 1 hourly had a bearish candle that wiped out the last 6, 7, 8 candles. Obviously price was going to drop.
Okay, let's have a look on your end on what you did.
So I looked at the daily, because obviously I wasn't momentum trading. It was more of a, not correction, not scalping, more of a momentum trade. So let's clear all this actually. Well, this is an uptrend, no doubt about that. And the current candle was bearish with a lower high. So then went to a 4-hour chart. Obviously entered on this one. I do realise at a demand level, but buyers pushed it up and sellers pushed it back down. I put my stop on the higher there, put my target on the lower there, because obviously that's a strong demand area. Then I went on the 1 hour, and obviously I got in on the close, almost on the close of that, and that took out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, pretty much 12 hours. So if that takes out, that's pretty strong to the downside. Stop and target, to wait for it to go on the money. So more of a momentum trade than a scalp.
Okay, alright. Beauty, thanks for that. And your turn.
Okay, you can see my screen.
Yep.
Yep, okay. It was too late for me to short. It was halfway here, and because of the strong push, I actually just waited, and now I'm playing the retracement now to the upside on the 5-minute chart, simply because what I can see on the 4-hour is just consolidating between these areas right here. So as a momentum trade, actually made a mistake in putting my fib retracement to this high right here when it's supposed to be here. So I'm going to readjust the, although this is a very good supply level here, I'm going to readjust it to this level here. I'll put it 133.10. Just to be taken. There you go. So I'm just playing the retracement, and then play it down to the downside again if it chooses to go back down to the downside, since sellers are pretty much in control.
Okie dokie, perfect. Different stuff for different occasions. Very nice. It doesn't really matter where. Okay, cool. Any questions for me on my end on the other hand?
Today is pretty good, thanks. That was good.
How did we go? We want your feedback, please.
Okay, the number one question is, when you say too late, because we had pretty much on the dot, right? Was it way too mega, way too late, or when you're thinking about the reaction type on the reaction, was your reaction too slow? Did you need time to think about to enter the trade, or weren't you prepared? So what was your initial reaction when you guys traded? You saw it, and then all of a sudden, boom. So what happened? What was the inner thoughts that basically came in?
To me, it was just too late, and I wasn't prepared. I didn't, see what it's doing. So by the time I went to the 5-minute chart, it was already dropping on that single 5 minutes. So the best way for me is just to not to chase the market, just to wait.
All right, nice.
That's just how I feel. Yeah.
How about you, Phil?
I'm happy with my trade.
Gotcha. So,
I missed the announcement,
mhm.
but in regards to setup, I'm happy where it is and what the intention is and the probability. I'm very happy.
Great. Excellent. So, you know, what it is, the way how you feel it, the way how, and this is part of the advance, it's actually, you know, you don't feel right, don't do it. Don't chase the market, so you guys have all the traits of professional traders, you know, and I think just keep it up. So, like, you know, sometimes I with opportunities, you know, they do come within instantaneously, really, really quick. Either you're fast or, you know, and it's good to show once again that the market will live without us, regardless whether we're prepared or not. Obviously, I had a better advantage, you know, because whilst you guys were analyzing other pairs, I was already currently looking at other things as well, and I knew ahead of time that there's going to be reports with the euro against, you know, mainly in Europe, and in 6 minutes' time, you know, we can stay for another 6 minutes, but you will see another reporting pretty much, which is a much stronger one. Medium ones are still pretty, sometimes they do affect the market, even though it's a medium on the Forex Factory. But if this one is really high impact, in terms of the German flash manufacturing, which is basically on the data, so you will see that there might be more room in the next basically 6 minutes. So what would the report going to be? Now, obviously, if we are trading, momentum trading, so like saying now with yours and you're against the trend now, right? I know you're out, but this is just a correction based on the momentum. So here's a perfect example: great force, stabilization, low 3. Now, in the next 6 minutes, anything can happen as well in terms of what they're going to be pushing it. But this one already did push it to the downside, right? So, you know, odds and probability in the level of supply now here is highly probable. And when I was looking at stuff, I go automatically, basically, I need to look on the daily, where the supply, demand, and then I go down directly to the 1 hour chart. Bingo. So I see here they try to push it. They didn't want to all the way. Sellers basically are way too much in control. And then when it's tanking, see from 133.47, the price already happened prior to the actual reporting itself. And then see where the price, and even where I sold it, was already in a level of demand, right? But they didn't want to. So false, continuation, and then I need to find out where are the strong demand levels. And I will go back, and then I went all the way to the 5-minute chart just to see and trying to detect what's happening. But on the 5-minute, it didn't really give me enough information either, because it's just way too strong, way too powerful. And then all the way to 1 minute, it gave me much solid more support. So where the lows didn't want to go further, and then just waiting for the right moment, and bingo, they just basically closed it. So that's, you know, way of my style. It's pretty much same when it comes to the bigger time frame. What I'm basically doing is just doing it to the smaller time frame, and then just cutting it through there. Bigger time frame, definitely we have more room to think. Okay, now so we have 3 minutes prior to the reporting. So what are they trying to do? They're trying to push it, you know, they're trying to pull it up, but this is obviously a 1 minute chart, so it's way too short, a lot of frequency based on that. Right now from here to here, and this is where we need to calculate in terms of your retracement. So 33.04, 5 minutes. So in 3 minutes time, can they really push it all the way, or is it just trying to correct itself? So from there to there, even if we go to 33.09, 33.15 maximum, then I'll be shorting. Oh, look at that. So see that even prior to the report. Oh, are you in, Anne?
Wow. Yeah, I mean, but I
All
put
right.
that limit, so I got taken out, which is good.
Okay. Cool. So in other words, they know what's happening even prior to the report. Hence a much stronger push to the upside. So that changes now pretty much everything in terms of that correction. Okay, we go now to a bigger time frame, 15 minutes. So the question here, after that 1 hour, who's now currently going to be the fake out? This one, this one? So we don't know, right? And hence, someone tried to push it up all the way back up there, then maybe perhaps there's another opportunity of shorting. Ooh.
Report is very good.
Okay, 12:28. But is the report come out yet? Already?
Yeah, it did.
Wow, that's too early. That's early.
Yeah, that's early. Wow.
It came out on your end already? It hasn't come.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 48.8. 55.3. So, negative, positive. The German, the French, so that was based on the French. This is now based on the German. So the German one is stronger than the French. Okay, so now from there, based on that 5 minutes, we go through now on the daily, we'll go through 30 minutes. 30 minutes. We have lower highs, higher lows. 1 hour. Right, so we have these lower shadows. They tested that lower shadows. If the price doesn't want to go beyond 133.50, then we have a much better price of getting back in. So even on the 4-hour chart, we can see through here, there's an indecision between 2 points. So demand, supply. So they're playing like a yo-yo. 4 hours, daily chart. It's not actually pretty much looking good. So I think if you're looking at your, this is what I'm waiting for by the end of the day. If it closes below the end of the day, below that 8, then I'm gonna be shorting this one right here too. But we cannot ignore the weekly or the bigger time frame. Mainly the monthly. The monthly is pretty powerful still. But anything can happen in February, obviously. So, shorter time frame, daily, risk is pretty small, 34.16, but 100 pips to point to the downside. Actually, why I've got you, Phil, I know we've got the euro pound. You dropped a little bit earlier. Oh, shoot, I forgot to tell you about it. 83.92 was tanking. So, just keep an eye on it, please. I know I'm going to keep an eye on it as well. But just from this perspective, they might drop it a little bit, but if it comes another opportunity, in actual fact, I think we're just on a positive side just a little bit, right? 10, 8, 1 pip, a break even. Yeah, if it comes back down a little bit, we're just going to hop out because this is also pretty much strong. They didn't want to play the game. Weekly, unless we choose to stay, it creates a doji. Longer term, nice. There's a nice probability of a correction to the downside, but monthly is definitely very bullish. But it has to create another low before a continuation to the upside. Okay. Stabilization doesn't want to correct. This will continue to go up. So we'll play that as well. Yeah, just keep an eye on it for me, please, Phil. Any questions for me?
No.
The pound,
Thanks.
pound.
That's been a good session.
No questions.
Yeah, good. I'm glad.
I'm in the round here. $1 though, but hey, so be it.
I'm sorry? No, I mean, your plan is totally different to mine, totally different to Anne's. At the end of the day, everybody will make money. I made money to the downside and made money to the upside. You'll make money as well to the downside on the longer term, right? So everybody's different, and that's the beauty about trading. Sweet. Then if there's no questions, you guys have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, see ya.
Bye.
Bye.